Well, hello everyone. It is Friday, the 5th of April, 2024. I am Delbridge, Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. This is your status chat. You got 10 more days to get them taxes in. And you know Uncle Sam can file actions against you and take your stuff without ever going to trial. So you want to make sure you don't get sideways with them folks. So anyway, I did finally get mine done. I don't want you to think that I'm lazy and not getting stuff done in a timely fashion, but I had quite a bit of expenses last year in medical because of a rear ender, and as a result, by the time the doctors play their thing and they do their billing out and you have to go through one procedure to the other, and then the insurance, they fight about the insurance, you really can't do it like January, in the month of January, waiting for February to come around where you can file, because you can't get those exact fees out of the way. So we finally got that done just in the nick of time, and we spent a good gob of money yesterday. Kept me up awake last night. Not that anybody cares, but I mean, it just kept me up. I didn't get to sleep probably till off and on till 5 this morning. Got up. I've been working on some product graphic designs until just a while ago. Ate me a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and we're good to go. So we got our little happy face on, whether we feel it or not. We have jobs numbers out today, and if you don't mind, we're just going to shoot it off from Studio K here today. So let's get to that right now. If you like this content, please go to CallDelToSell.com, find the tab that says on YouTube, click it, and it'll open up a page of QR codes. There you can use a smartphone to scan and get to the YouTube page, or you can just mouse over and click it on a PC. There you'll be able to subscribe to this little button over here and click the notification bell so that YouTube will notify you when each Friday's blog has been uploaded. Thank you. Well, all right, I guess I get to edit that out. Apparently OBS Studio just fixed itself or updated because got all my monitors all messed up. So anyway, here we are. We are live. We're not Memorex. All right, let's go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. As you see here, this is the official government site. They're the ones reporting on this. They have been doing some serious fibbing here since about December, where they come out with some Mondo reports about how great the labor situation is and how many we have, and then they only come back following month and change those preliminary numbers to more accurate numbers, and they revise them down. You ought to Google for your own edification just so you know I'm not lying to you. Google January jobs revisions down, and you'll see that they had like 375, and they took off over a 1.25 thousand off of those job numbers right off the bat. About a third of them came off, and we came significantly down. But they do, like your government does, like to paint you a pretty picture, even if it's not particularly accurate. Now, so we're going to go back over. So there we are, back on the main page. If my computer screens will set up, it may take me 30 minutes to go back through this bad boy, get them straight. But U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, current employment situation, you will get the link to this page right there in the description of the status chat over on the YouTube page. We get this. We're going to roll this down a little bit. If I got to keep my eye on this other side, it is the national CES, because remember, they run 3 months behind before you can get to any state or local. And it says right here, this is the news release. We'll look at here in a little bit. Look at that bodacious number right there, 300,000 jobs in March. Put that on your calendar, on your diary there for today, and see if this doesn't get revised downwards in the next couple of months. But anyway, we're looking at it. It tells you this is the 50-state metro average, and we will look at this press release here. And you notice where we have our jobs. This is one thing that's irritating about CES. It makes these flags pop up and I can't point to them. But down at the bottom, government's putting on jobs. Other services are putting on some jobs. Leisure and hospitality, we got to get them cruise ships going on there. But you see, other than that, it's pretty well much flat, no jobs. Service providing, which is a broad category. Goods producing, not that many jobs. We're not producing that much. Total private's up and non-farm is up. So it's how they break it down. Now, let's look at this report and see if it gives us some better information. You see what we're looking at is nothing I don't like about the CS. Up here, this is the household survey data. This is what they're talking to people like me and you, asking us, how's it going, Buttercup? And then down here, we'll also see the establishment survey. This is also put together by the BLS, but this is the businesses who telling what they got going on. And they're the ones that we're saying, ooh, got 300,000 in March, making it look real rosy. But let's go back and see what the people say today. it says both unemployment rate at 3.8% and the number of unemployed people at 6.4 million changed little in March. So they're telling you right now, the Fed is telling you, government's telling you they're not going to cut the Fed rate anytime soon. The unemployment rate, which has been in the narrow range of 3.7 to 3.9% since August of 2023. So they're saying we're really not budging much on it. Now, this, if you're interested in by race and by sex, I think we break it down there. The women may be below it, but it says the major worker groups for unemployment rate for blacks was 6.4%. That's about a little less than twice what the national average. Increased in March, while the rates for Asians 2.5, they're below average. Hispanics at 4.5% decreased. The jobless rates for adult men, here we go, I knew we had the genders in here somewhere, 3.3%, and adult women 3.6%. Teenagers 12.6%. So be feeding that young in the year some ramen, because I'm sure they would appreciate having them some good ramen noodles. Can't sell that out. The number of long-term unemployed, those jobless for 27 weeks or more, at 1.2 million was little changed in March. So it doesn't look like people getting jobs. If they don't have one by now, they're not getting one. The long-term unemployed accounted for almost 1 in 5. So there we go. Now, let's see if we can roll down here and compare that to the establishment so we can see about where things are coming from. The non-farm payroll up here at the top, the non-farm payroll rose by 303,000, much higher than average monthly gain of 231 over the prior 12 months. In March, job gains occurred in healthcare. That's what we're looking at. Healthcare, government, and construction. So what is that telling you? Healthcare, government, and construction. Well, we've got to have places to live. We've got to have places to do our business in. We have to get fixed when we get, run over by people and have to go through all this process. And of course, the government is expanding as always. And who gets to pay for the government? Why, me and you do. It's April. You got 10 more days for taxes. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I have every confidence that if you're watching me, you're on top of this already. All right, let me hit the center panel. Hopefully it won't malfunction again. So here we are. We've got that back. In March, employment in government increased by 71,000 higher than the average monthly gain of 54,000 over the prior 12 months. I wonder if those are some of those 84,000 IRS auditors that the Democrats put in funding for. Don't know. The employment increased for local government of 49,000. My goodness, that's a little more than half of the federal, and federal's at 9,000. So your government is expanding, whether you need it or not. Construction added 39,000 jobs, which was double the average monthly gain of 19,000. And I tell you what, I think some of that's behind that. I think people are finally getting it through their head, despite what you see on Facebook, but people try to sell you. Interest rates are not apt to come down anytime soon, and we're going into the spring where we're mowing grasses already, we're trimming bushes already. It's the green time of year, and that's when people get moving and want to move into a house or move out of the one they've got. And so, of course, that's going to spur construction. If the weather's been good, we'll do that. It was a fairly mild winter. People, even contractors and commercial real estate people who are the big developers and doing the strip malls, even they know that the interest rates are not going to break in their favor anytime soon. So why sit on their thumbs and waste the money? We got to get back to it. All right, here we are. Now, in March, employment was little changed in retail at plus 18,000, and the job gain in general merchandise retail was 20,000 up, which was partially offset by job losses in building material and garden equipment supplies of 10,000. Wow. People aren't buying tires. Look at that tire. The tire retailers were down 3,000. So I thought they just said construction was going well, but yet we see that's been an area that they just said has some losses in the building materials, the supplying area. So I don't know how to put those two together. We're building more, but we're having job cuts in the supply side. So I don't know how that exactly works. We see that healthcare added 72,000 jobs in March, above the average gain, 60,000 over the prior 12 months. In March, growth continued for ambulatory health services plus 28,000, hospitals plus 27,000, nursing and residential care plus 18,000. So if you happen to be unfortunate like I was in getting yourself run over, then you can see that those hospital bills, those medical bills, they're not going down. I promise you that. So we've got some growth in that area. We're also going to switch back here if I can hit the right spot. Here we go. In March, retail employment was little changed at plus 18,000. A job gain in general merchandisers, up 20,000, was partially offset by losses in the building material and garden supply dealers at 10,000. And automotive parts and accessory and tire retailers were down 3,000. So they just told us that construction, non-residential construction was up. We're seeing your normal spring fling of getting your garden out and getting your house right, that seems to be down a little bit. So what is that telling you? Don't know that tells us too much. All right. I think we can run through this quite a bit, but I have to go back and see how much time I've taken up by the time we stitch this together. Like I said, I didn't get any sleep last night, and I've been working all morning. In March, the average hourly earnings for all employees on private and non-farm payrolls increased by 12 cents. 12 cents. Boy, I'll tell you what, this Bidenomics is working. It's working. Or 0.3% to $34.69. Have you been to the grocery store lately? Wow. Over the past 12 months, the average hourly earnings have increased by 4.1%. And yet in the last 3 years, I think I saw a thing that says food has gone up 37% in total. When they quit picking through the stuff to give you the lowest numbers, the claim was it went up 37%. And I would tend to throw my bias in that to believe it. So here we go. One of the things that we're going to see is this right here. In March, the average work week for all employees on private non-farm payrolls edged up by 1/10 of an hour. That's 6 minutes, y'all. 1/10 of an hour is 6 minutes to 34.4 hours. In manufacturing, the average work week was unchanged at 40 hours, and the overtime edged down by 1/10 of an hour, which is the same that the non-farm payrolls went up. So overtime went down. So I don't know what we read out of that. To 2.9 hours in March. The average work week for production and non-supervisory employees on private non-farm payrolls edged up again by 1/10 of a percent. That's your hours. Okay, so if your hours are going up by 1/10 of a percent and your money is going up by 1/10 of a percent, is that really a raise? Are you making any more money or just working more hours? Inquiring minds ask the question. All right. So that's about all we got. We got one more paragraph, but I think I'm going to be long enough as is because I want to hit this one right here. CNBC, if the computer will load. I mean, it's got the dateline today. Greg Ikarachi, apologies, I never get these right. They're touting the headline number of 303,000 jobs. The unemployment rate edged lower. They're given a good American Pravda type of report here. It's a bit harder for workers to find jobs relative to the great was that resignation era of a few years ago. That's when we had plenty of lily pads to hop to. But overall, the labor market looks healthy, sustainable, and is giving inflation-adjusted raises, what was that, 1/10 of a percent to the people. So we're not going to read this, but see, they show you a nice little graph to convince you that not to be a henny penny. I don't want to see that toe being scrubbed down there. Let me roll it back up for your benefit. So this headline, I'll also put it in your breakdown. The strong U.S. job market is in a sweet spot, economists say, which means what if you're looking to buy a new car or a new house or refinance some old debt? I don't believe the rates are going to go anywhere anytime fast. They're still holding on that they're going to give you 3 cuts, but they're probably going to be in the last quarter if things keep holding up like this. Whether it's real or imagined doesn't make any difference. They're reporting these numbers. And as long as they've got that and the stock markets and bond markets are acting in the direction they want them to, they're not going to cut the Fed rate. In fact, it's really where it needs to be for an overall healthy economy. It's just really hard for us to take from a high 2s or low 3s to 7 or so. That's a booger. That really is. And if you're looking to do, if you can't stay in one place forever. If you can, hold to what you got. Inflation will catch you, and you'll probably not be any better for waiting than you would if you were to go now. So that's the end of this show, except for our numbers, which we're going to read to you in just a second. Hello, I'm Delbridge of Benchmark Realty, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. If you are currently unrepresented and would like to know how to compare up to 3 properties side by side and room by room, then go over to my new YouTube channel, CallDelToSell. That's one L and Del, no spaces. Watch the demo on Real Scout and then call me and we'll set up your exclusive ad-free account today. All right, last week, 329 of 24, we had 18,655 opportunities. That was up over the previous period. We had 4,386 in the under contract still holding on tos. That was also up over the previous period, and we ticked up to 24%, the integer ratio between those, the holding ons and what's available. Now, 4-5 of 24 today. What we see is we have 18,754, which eased up again over the previous. We're starting to see spring come in. We're starting to see stuff get listed. 4,409 were the still holding on to the under contracts. They also went up, but the integer rate remained steady at 24%. So I don't know how long this show is going to go. Like I said, I had a little difficulties bringing it to your computer. I'm going to have to just sit down and go through that again. They do this every so many months. They'll readjust stuff. When Windows comes in, it upsets the connections to the studio. So we're going to see you next week. We'll be here if the creek don't rise and good Lord willing. And you know, you can call me anytime you want. If I don't answer, it goes to voicemail because I do have to take my naps from time to time. All right. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.